As for Prime Minister Trudeau, well, he is presenting a united front today with two of his counterparts. Trudeau meeting for trilateral talks with the British and Dutch leaders Boris Johnson and Mark Rutte. And the Prime Minister also announced new measures aimed at the Kremlin's inner circle today.
Today, Canada is announcing new sanctions on 10 individuals complicit in this unjustified invasion. This includes former and current senior government officials, oligarchs, and supporters of Russian leadership. The names of these individuals come from a list compiled by jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. These sanctions put increased pressure on Russia's leadership, including on Putin's inner circle. This is, of course, in addition to all the other sanctions we've announced, including our recent announcement on imposing massive tariffs on Russian and Belarusian imports. The work we're doing together is punishing Putin and his enablers where it hurts most, in particular by crippling their financial systems and sanctioning their central bank.
Well, for more on these sanctions, let's go to the CBC's David Cochran outside 10 Downing Street.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has promised his government would increase the sanctions against Russia, and today he added 10 names to a growing list, a list provided by a jailed Russian opposition leader.
Seeing just how strongly democracies around the world have stood and responded, I think is a surprise to Putin, perhaps a little bit of a surprise to all of us as well, that we actually can stand and push back really hard for the principles that drive us.
It's all part of a joint effort to pressure the Putin regime, but perhaps the most powerful option, the banning of Russian oil and gas, is not an option, at least in the short term.
We have to dramatically reduce our dependency on gas and oil from Russia. That will take time. A statement earlier today by Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany, I think, was in the same direction. So the painful reality is there. And that means that we have to be very clear and make no mistakes here. This is a step-by-step approach, and that means that we have to make sure that the energy supplies in this part of the world, again, including Ukraine, but also in the rest of the world, are not hindered, and that will take time.
The three leaders promised to mobilize support for humanitarian relief in Ukraine, not just from NATO and European allies, but globally. And on that point, Boris Johnson announced an extra £175 million in support for Ukraine. David Cochran, CBC News, London.